People who talk about equal pay for equal work are never thinking about the results of their work. In fact, they don't even care about the results. The truth is, there isn't equal pay among men either, and there shouldn't be. As many have pointed out before, the gender pay gap is not 77 cents for women to every dollar a man makes. I mean, it might be if you just calculate what all men make versus what all women make, and don't take into consideration how many hours they work, what type of job they have, where their job is located, how dangerous their job is, how many years they've had that job, or how much money they make for their employers. With the Women's World Cup of Soccer going on right now, we're hearing a lot about equal pay for equal work, but they never talk about how much revenue is generated. The Men's World Cup as a whole makes something like 50 times more money than the Women's World Cup does. Now, while I believe that these players do think it's about fairness, the movement itself is not. It's about creating division and resentment. We all agree that sex should not be a factor in determining what a person gets paid. What we disagree on is the equal work part of the equal pay for equal work mantra. Because it's most often about a business's bottom line, equal work isn't really a thing. An easy example to understand would be two salesmen who work for the same company. They may have the same job title, but their value to the company is in how much they sell, and their compensation will reflect that. And we all agree that that's fair because their results are easy to see and easy to quantify. It's when it's up to the boss or a company to judge the value of a worker and pay them accordingly that it's hard to see. The WNBA players also talk about equal pay. They don't think that they should get paid the same as NBA players do because that would mean that the few best players would get all the revenue. But they do think that they deserve the same percentage of the league's revenue as the NBA players get. And while that sounds reasonable, the two leagues are very different. The men have an 82-game season, while the women only play 34 games. The men average 18,000 fans a game, while the women average around 8,000. The average ticket price for an NBA game is $89. For a WNBA game, it's around $17. And for the NBA Finals, around 31 million people tuned in to watch each game. The last WNBA Finals averaged less than 1 million viewers per game. I'm sorry to be the one to have to say this, but the main reason that most female athletes don't get paid anywhere close to what their male counterparts make is because most sports fans aren't interested in female sports. And I'm not trying to be mean, it's just a fact that men are better at virtually every sport, especially basketball. The other side of it concerning the WNBA is the fact that it's not been around that long. And if you look at something like Major League Soccer, a men's league that hasn't been around all that long, just like the WNBA, the players in the MLS make a much smaller percentage of their league's revenue. When there isn't as much meat on the bone, there just isn't as much to go around. Now, there are a few sports where female athletes do quite well. Tennis is a good example. Serena Williams has a net worth of about $180 million. Compare that to the Michael Jordan of the WNBA, Diana Taurasi, whose net worth is just over $1 million. But hey, I get it. Female athletes work hard, just like the men do. But I'm afraid that just doesn't matter. I could work 5 times harder than every NBA player, and guess what? Ain't nobody going to pay me to play basketball. It comes down to making money for your employer. Do y'all remember when Michael Jordan played minor league baseball? He wasn't very good, but he sold tickets. Same with Garth Brooks. He was terrible, but he brought the fans in, and that's the bottom line. These are businesses, and businesses are about making money. Ultimately, equal pay for equal work is a bad thing for women. Let's say that it's true that women are paid less because of sexism. If you make a law that says that women have to be paid the same as men, then there would be no reason for a sexist business owner to hire women. Think about it. Requiring men and women to be paid the same does not stop a business owner from discriminating against women. It actually makes it easier for them. It takes away the only advantage the woman has, which is to offer her skills for less. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that women should be paid less or condoning sexism. I'm just explaining the effects that a law like that would have. Look, if you don't think you're getting paid fairly, then you should find a different employer who will recognize your value. And if you can't find an employer who will pay you what you think you're worth, then you're probably not worth what you think you're worth. $75K a year is the league minimum in the WNBA. If that's not enough for you to play basketball for a living, come join the rest of us turning wrenches and painting houses to make ends meet. Go get behind the wheel of a big rig or start your own business. We don't want to hear about how unfair life is for you playing sports for a living. And most of us don't want to watch you play basketball either. I mean, when did we stop being grateful for what we have? 30 years ago, a woman couldn't make a living playing basketball, and now some can. If you push too hard for more pay, you're liable to find out just how unimportant you really are. When someone has to describe the greatest player of your sport as the Michael Jordan, you can be sure there aren't too many people who care about what you're getting paid. And that's the simple truth. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and if you want to become a supporting member of Blue Collar Logic, click on the link in the description and give what you can.